What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a Week 15 NFL recap for the 2015 season. Obviously, we're looking at the Monday night game, which is going to be played tonight, Monday, December 21st, 2015, between the Lions and the Saints. Pretty much, just looking forward to this game makes me want to throw up, but that's another story. We'll get to that later, obviously tomorrow when this game is over. If you want to see the recap for the Buccaneers and the Rams, that's already been previously released. You can watch it here on YouTube or download it for free on iTunes or Android. GmiasWorld Podcast is what you would have to search. Okay, so we're going to be recapping the Saturday, December 19th games and the Sunday, December 20th games. So that's going to be the Saturday special edition game between the Jets and the Cowboys, and the Sunday games, which just had a lot of excitement, primarily between the Giants and the Panthers, but we're going to get to that in a second. First, we're going to talk about the Jets and the Cowboys. The Jets obviously still can make the playoffs. This game was very, very boring. The Jets secondary looked really, really good. The Cowboys suck. We all know that. It just seems as if they weren't prepared to do anything without Tony Romo. And to build a successful unit as a football team, you either have to have a great coaching staff that could just make any quarterback great, or you have to have decent players. The Cowboys, I don't know where exactly they really, really went wrong after Tony Romo went, he got hurt the first time. Obviously, Matt Cassell is a bum. They benched him, put in the other guy, some other bum came in and was just throwing picks everywhere. The Dallas Cowboys have become a disgusting mockery of football. Are they still America's team? I guess so. They get the most attention. Everywhere I go, no matter what state I'm in, there's always a Dallas Cowboy fan, so I think that they're still going to be considered America's team. I don't know why, but some things are just the way they are, and you just have to deal with it. As far as gameplay, though, it's horrible. It's a very disgusting scene to watch at this point. I'm just really, really disgusted overall with it. As far as the Jets go, the Jets don't look very, very impressive. Defensively, I thought with Revis and Cromartie being there, and they got a lot of other couple pieces in the secondary that are really, really good. Obviously, like I said, they were just picking everything off. But then again, they're playing Pop Warner. They're playing a Pop Warner quarterback. Whoever was back there at center, you know what I'm saying, bro? They put in the bum. Obviously, like I said, they benched Matt Cassell, and they put in another bum, and it just got really, really crazy and disgusting to watch. So, pretty much looking at this, I don't know what's going to happen with the Jets. I don't trust the Jets to do anything. Do I think they're going to make the playoffs? They got 2 more weeks to see what's good. I don't really care. I know a lot of people are very concerned with them. They want them to go to the playoffs, but why? I guess you can make some money or whatever. Selling more merchandise or whatever for that 1 week you're going to be in the playoffs. But they're not a team that's going to go in there and upset anybody. You know what I'm saying, bro? They're not. Listen, if the Jets upset somebody, first of all, if the Jets make the playoffs and they upset somebody, I don't even know what I would bargain for. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I'm going to be very, very honest with you. So, as far as these two teams right here, this game was extremely boring. Darren McFadden went over, he had 100 yards. Looking at the Jets, I don't even know what the Jets were doing. Like, watching this game, I was really disgusted overall, so I can't really say that I was, wholeheartedly paying attention. I tried to drink as much as possible so that I really couldn't see what was happening on the screen. So, all in all, it was a very, very boring and, I guess, it was just football. It was something to watch, pretty much. If you guys enjoyed it, kudos to you guys for trying to make something out of nothing, but there was nothing exciting about this game. And I only watched it because I have to do recaps on it, to be honest with you. And I'm gonna let you guys know. When there are games like that, I try to be as honest as possible. There's certain games I enjoyed, like the game that I'm gonna be talking about next, that I really, really enjoyed. That has a lot more excitement involved. But this one, no. This game had to be the game of the week. The Panthers at the Giants. Obviously, the Panthers are coming in 13-0. The Giants, they just have been so inconsistent and sucky that I don't even know what their record is at this point. I just know that they lose when they're supposed to win. Obviously, we know at this point that Odell Beckham Jr., in my opinion, bro, everything was cool until he tried to dive and rip, Josh Norman's head off. You know what I'm saying, bro? After Josh Norman moved him out of the way, pushed him, whatever, and then he dove after the play was over, and that could have really been damaging to Josh Norman. And that's the only part that bothered me. everything else, like when he tried to trip him, lift his leg up, the dumb shit they tried to do when he was stomping like Allen Iverson in the end zone when he scored late, all the other stuff, you know what I'm saying, I could deal with. But diving at somebody's neck, like, listen, man, neck injuries are very, very serious. And just say that Josh Norman, let's just say for argument's sake that his head was in any other direction than it was, and he wasn't really braced enough for that hit that OBJ did, Odell Beckham Jr. Let's just say that happened and he left on a stretcher. What would that mean? What would that mean to to OBJ, to the Giants, to everything else like that? It's okay to be physical, punch each other in the face, stuff like that. Listen, I would be all for them just duking it out. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, even in the olden days when dudes would fight on the field, even if you take your helmet off and get a penalty, whatever, try to punch him in the face, that's fine. But diving full speed at somebody's neck is crazy. Everything else, I'm willing to deal with. You know what I'm saying? I heard Deion Sanders saying that they need to, to talk it out. Obviously, they're trying to have a Twitter war at this point. Josh Norman is a lockdown corner in this league. OBJ is obviously somebody that's a very, very exciting wide receiver. So these things are going to happen. But it's a line. You got to draw a line here. And if you guys don't understand that as being competitive athletes, listen, it has to be a line. And both of them were acting immature at certain points in the game, and it's to be expected. It's a lot of hype behind the game. People were very, very excited to see it happen. Josh Norman, look, the guy has stepped up and has been pretty good against very, very good wide receivers. And Odell Beckham Jr. is just another guy that was on the menu, and he was going to eat. And the game is close, but this was pretty much a rout throughout. The Giants made a push towards the end, but all in all, that was the biggest part of this game was OBJ and Josh Norman. It was a very, very exciting game overall, and I love the intensity. I love the stuff like that, and like I said, everything except that dive, I'm fine with. Because it happens. Those things, people are going to be all kind of, crazy. You want to win so bad, you don't give a F. I understand all of that. But if you're running full speed and you're doing dumb shit like that, you see that kind of stuff right there, I can understand why Josh Norman is very upset. You know what I'm saying, bro? Because if I'm trying to do stuff like punch you in the face, like while you're seeing me and doing shit like trying to grab your leg up, like he was doing OBJ was doing very, very childish things. He was doing very, very childish things. And all of that I accept. It's part of the game, blah, blah, blah. I accept all of that. But you see, like when you go for somebody's knees, you're trying to dive at somebody's neck full speed. You're trying to do things to them that can jeopardize their money and their career. I have a problem with that. And I have no relation to Josh Norman. I have no relation to OBJ. And in my opinion, OBJ is one of the most spectacular wide receivers I've seen in a very, very long time. I love watching him play. I love watching Josh Norman play. I love watching Cam Newton, who, by the way, is solidified himself as the MVP. I don't care if he doesn't play anymore and they rest their players or whatever Riverboat Ron wants to do. Cam Newton is the MVP undoubtedly in this league. And I don't want to hear anything else about it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. He should win MVP. If he doesn't, something's going wrong. Let me just get back to that. As far as Josh Norman goes, he took that hit on, and because his adrenaline was so, it was so enhanced, it was going so hard, it's probably why he didn't really feel anything of the ill effects of that, the fucking torpedo dive to his neck. But that was uncalled for, man. It was uncalled for. And I know that OBJ wants to reach out and apologize according to Deion Sanders, but you might have to give it a day or so. Let it cool down a little bit, because looking back at it, you can as a man, you could deal with everything else that's going on. I know that it's tough to watch these superstar athletes act like this, but when adrenaline is on the line and everybody's pushing for this, and you suck, and you're gonna get this is gonna happen to you and stuff like that, you push these guys to do things like this. And that's what they do. They have to get into each other's heads and do different things like that. And it was very, very, it was crazy. It was a crazy, crazy game. But other than that point of OBJ diving at his neck, I can deal with everything else. And I don't think that represents what OBJ is. I just think that he got caught up in the moment where a great defender was on him, and he just like, yo, what the F? One-on-one. Most of the time it was one-on-one, no double coverage. Other than, in the beginning of the game when he beat him deep and he dropped the ball, I don't think he had anything else on Josh Norman for the most of the game. Pretty much was locked down the first half, and it became frustrating. And it's understandable. But there's a line, bro. There's a line that you have to draw, and he just really, really showed something that he shouldn't be showing right now. With all his success that he's attained, you got to be able to brush it off. You got to be able to, get into somebody's head without trying to, ridiculously dive like a maniac and try to bash his head off. Like, you cannot do that. That was my biggest issue with OBJ. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but, to me, this was the game of the year. And it was very enjoyable. It was very exciting. And I just really hope that the Panthers are able to go to the Super Bowl. Because I think if they go to the Super Bowl, they win it hands down. I don't care who they play. At this point, I don't care who they play. Patriots, whatever. I don't care who they play. I believe that the Panthers can win the Super Bowl based on what I saw yesterday. Because every game isn't going to be perfect. The way they stepped up and made it happen, that was huge. And you guys got to give them credit for it. Regardless of how they became sloppy at the end, every game is not going to end perfect. And the way that they stepped up and did it, it was a really, really good game. But again, I hope that somehow they're able to, hash it out, Josh Norman and OBJ. But that was some craziness with that one play. That one play defined the game. Everything else you could brush off. He's definitely going to be fined for it. Both of them somehow, some way have to be fined for their actions. But that one play, bro, the torpedo dive, that right there is ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous, man. And I know that looking back at it now, OBJ is like, yo, what the F was I doing? But you have to be able to have a little bit more self-control. And this is why people say, sometimes when success is thrown on you, it's very, very hard to deal with, because there's a lot of other receivers in the league that will kill to be where OBJ is right now. And he has it. And then you do something like that, and then it's just like, all right, now everybody's looking at you as a dirty player, and anything you do now is questioned. When it didn't have to be like that. You could have did everything else you did, and it would have been fine. Tripping him, doing dumb shit, lifting his leg up, trying to pull his pants down, whatever you want to do. But trying to dive at somebody's neck, bro, full speed, like running and then doing it, that's a problem to me. But congratulations to Cam Newton, man. Watching him develop and do the things and to know his road. People think that he just began at Auburn. It wasn't like that. It was a whole bunch of stuff that you guys need to research before Cam Newton, did what he did at Auburn and now what he's doing now. And it's beautiful to see, man. I'm so happy for him. And I just wish the best for the Panthers, man, and North Carolina and them boys. And I hope that they can go on and do good things, man. I just you see them play like that, and they're really having fun with the game. And the team is really responding. You would never think that this would have happened after losing Kelvin Benjamin, in the preseason or whatever, and having to go into a season without your number one receiver. But kudos to the Panthers, man, and kudos to the Giants as well for keeping it close. But like I said, man, that one play defined the whole game when, this guy thought he was an acrobat. OBJ thought he was an acrobat and just dove at this guy's head, man. It was crazy. So we'll see what happens with that. But all in all, I think that was the game of the year. Titans at Patriots. Patriots 33, Titans 16. We all knew the Patriots going to win this game. Mariota obviously got injured. His knee looked pretty, dinged up. It wasn't really an exciting game overall. Was it Mettenberger or some kind of burger or something like that comes in for the Titans, and he just starts, he gets devoured pretty much. The Patriots have a very underrated defense. Obviously Gronkowski's looking well. He scored early in the game. Tom Brady was sick during the week. He came out. He played well enough to win the game. And the Patriots still are missing a lot of key components. And it's not a lot to really discuss about this game. All in all, the Patriots did what they were supposed to do, and they took care of a weaker team, and they're getting ready for playoff mode. Pretty much is what I see with them, with the way that the personnel was handled and how the team played. They're just getting ready. They're on cruise control right now. And the Patriots they're the scariest team in the AFC, because if the minimal pieces come back that Tom Brady needs, they can dot up any defense. It doesn't matter. They proved that in the Super Bowl, against the Legion of Boom. So I'm not really worried about all this other stuff that's going on. I do believe that the Patriots are still the team to beat in the AFC. I just think that if they go to the Super Bowl, the Panthers are a really, really tough team. And in my opinion, overall, out of everyone, is the scariest team to play in the Super Bowl if they make it there. But the Patriots, as far as the AFC goes, I like the Patriots as they get healthy. Obviously, I think that they're going to be the front runners to make it to the playoff, make it to the Super Bowl. Out of everybody in the AFC, including the Steelers, which we'll get to soon. Bills at Redskins. Bills 25, Redskins 35. All right, obviously we know the Bills are out of the playoff hunt right now. I've said this from the beginning of the year. Rex Ryan is a great guy, probably a great players coach. He's not a great head coach. He doesn't know how to lead guys for business, to get the job done and to let people know when to shut up. And his team shows that every time they step out on the field, because they do the same ridiculous stuff that he does. You know, they come out there, they run their mouth. Obviously, LaShawn McCoy has a mild MCL sprain, but, you know, the week before with the Eagles and all the stuff, and he's running his mouth, and then you come out, then you don't want to talk after you lose. And it's a big reflection of what Rex Ryan did for the Jets all those years. And in my opinion, I don't think the Bills will be successful with him at the helm. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be a coach in the league. I'm just saying that at certain times, you got to shut the hell up and play football. And I know it bothers a lot of Bills fans. Because I know Bills fans that's like, yo, when is this guy that's going to shut the hell up? No matter what the team does. They had a week where they had so many penalties. And then he comes out and says, I'm just going to fight for this football team. And I'm going to fight. Like, bro, shut up. You're supposed to be talking about, you know, reducing penalties. Like a Mike Zimmer with the Vikings. Talk about reducing penalties and playing the game right. Not talking about how much you want to be a coach. And it's just too much with Rex Ryan. It's too much. And the Bills are going to have to deal with that while he's the head coach there. And that's it. As far as the Redskins go, you know, Kirk Cousins, man, listen, he showed some elusiveness and some speed with that running touchdown that he had. Then he threw more dots. You know, listen, guys, I don't have a problem with the way that things were handled with, you know, how they're coaching it and stuff like that, how they had to replace RG3. Obviously, he wasn't playing well. And, you know, it was a situation where he was going to be benched. You know, Jay Gruder's like, yo, you're garbage. I understand that. But the way that they publicly humiliated RG3 is what I had a problem with. As far as the way the Redskins are playing right now, I think that they're the best team in the NFC East. You know what I'm saying? So as long as they're able to win, like I guess their next 2 games, it's pretty much a lock. Like I don't even know what's going on in the NFC East. It always comes down to Week 17. They all suck. But Kirk Cousins has been balling. You know what I'm saying? You know, Reed, the tight end is playing. He's like a wide receiver at tight end. He's just balling out. Obviously, Deshaun Jackson is a big key. I just don't know what else to say about the NFC East other than they all suck. So I have to go with the lesser of the evils and just say the Redskins are going to be the best team right now. Like I can't. Pretty much they've been the only people consistently showing up and winning when people are thinking that they're going to lose. Like this was a game they were supposed to lose. Everybody thought, well, not everybody, but most people thought the Bills, because their playoff hopes was on the line, or you know, blah blah blah, they were going to step up. I never thought that. I just looked at Rex Ryan was their coach and I knew they were going to lose the game. And again, it's not to bash Rex Ryan as a coach. It's just him as a head coach. Him being the leader at the helm. You have to be able to separate, you know what I'm saying, certain type of issues with the players and let them know when to shut the hell up, how to deal with the media, focus on the game, stop all the talking, things like that. And he hasn't learned that yet. And I thought that's something he would have learned being in New York with the Jets. But now he goes upstate New York with the Bills and he's doing the same shit. So, you know, it is what it is. The Redskins went out there, they played well. This was a rout to begin. Obviously, they made it closer towards the end, going for a 2-point conversion with Tyrod Taylor towards the end. But, you know, it was over, and the Redskins just played well enough to win, and that's it. And I think they're going to win the NFC East. Chiefs at Ravens. We don't really need to talk about the Ravens, okay? The Ravens have been a mockery of themselves ever since Terrell Suggs went down early in the year. It didn't help that Steve Smith Sr. went down, Joe Flacco. It's a joke. We're not going to talk about the Ravens right now. We're just going to hope that everybody gets healthy and that we'll see them next year and everything works out. As far as the Chiefs, 8-game winning streak, Jeremy Maclin, Alex Smith, this team is dangerous. Not dangerous enough to beat anybody in the playoffs, but they're dangerous right now as far as the way that they're playing. And like I said, Jamal Charles is the reason for that. Jamal Charles being out of the game and having them have the freedom to focus on other people. Chandra West, or whatever his name is. What is it? Chandra Raka West? I don't know what his name is. But just having different type of role players on the team has made the team a lot better. It's made them a lot more balanced. And Alex Smith is balling right now. And Jeremy Maclin has arose from the dead. You know what I'm saying, bro? He's actually playing. He's actually taking the spot as the number 1 receiver. He's actually doing things that are helping the team win. All I can say is this, as we reach closer to playoff time, I don't see them being a threat in the playoffs, which is why I can't really, you know, be like, oh, come on, the Chiefs. I don't see them being a threat in the playoffs if they do make it. So I'm just saying, as far as building team-wise, an 8-game win streak shows that maybe they should make some changes in the offseason. I love me some Jamal Charles, but maybe he's not what's needed right now with Kansas City. It seems harsh, but it's about winning, and it's about the fans being happy to cheer for something that they know that they have a product there that's going to be successful. And the team feels better and looks better without Jamal Charles there, similar to the Seattle Seahawks without, what is it, Jimmy Smith or whatever the F his name is. They just look better. They look a lot better without Jamal Charles. And that's pretty much what it is right there. You know, I don't know how else I can, define it. I don't really know. I'm trying to figure out how else to explain it. It's something that we have to all understand. Sometimes specific guys are not needed. You know what I'm saying? Specific guys are just not needed, and that's it. It's nothing like, I'm not trying to, say, yeah, bro, the guy is garbage. I'm not saying any of that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that they play better without him, and that's it. I'm not. Well, it's, okay. It's Jimmy Graham. Okay, Jimmy Graham. I think I said Jimmy Smith. I'm thinking of the tight end from the Ravens. Jimmy Graham. It's not a situation that like Jamal Charles couldn't be better on another team. Similar to the way that Adrian Peterson is their workhorse for the Vikings, I don't think Adrian Peterson affects the Vikings the similar way that Jamal Charles has affected the Chiefs, because they built everything around Jamal Charles. But Jamal Charles was always fumbling the ball. He's always doing this. He's always hurt. It's a lot of things that went into it. He wasn't durable. Things like that. And that's what created the issue. That's what made it harder for the Chiefs to actually win games. And I just think that they're a much better team without Jamal Charles. I don't know if you guys agree, whatever it is, but that's my opinion. I've been saying that for a while. And I'm happy for the Chiefs. I just don't think they're going to do anything. I don't think they're going to make any noise. Texans at the Colts. Wow. Brandon Weeden was considered a bum. First of all, it's 16-10. The Colts suck. But Brandon Weeden was a bum in Dallas, and you come out into the Texans, your counterpart in Dallas, in Texas. I don't know what's going on. Bro. The Dallas Cowboys are so horrible, bro. The more that I think about it, the more that I think about everything that's going on right now in Texas, bro. Like, you come out there, right? I'm looking at Weeden. I'm like, yo, this guy's a bum. He just played with Dallas. He sucks. The dude starts throwing dots, rolling out, doing Y2 bananas, or whatever the F, John Gruden be talking about, the whatever kind of banana, whatever play it is, and all of a sudden the Texans are up and they win the game. The defense played very, very well too, but the whole fact of the matter is, wasn't he a bum just like a week ago? And then now, it's something about Dallas, man. I don't know. It's something about Dallas. I don't know if, they just are not. People just have to be fired there. They got to revamp the whole team. It's a lot of things that have to happen. I don't know what's going on there, bro. Because that didn't look like the same Brandon Weeden that was playing with the Dallas Cowboys. It really didn't. And let me know if you guys agree. It really didn't look like that. So I don't know what this is. I don't know what it means. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that Brandon Weeden looked really, really good. That, not really, really good, but a lot better than how he looked when he was with the Dallas Cowboys. And the Texans lead the division and will possibly make the playoffs. The Colts suck. This was the first time the Texans have beaten the Colts since however many games they played. Hasselbeck, obviously, he's old, bro. He got to go. He can't take hits no more. He's always hurt. Like, bro, just go sit down. It's time. It was fun while it lasted, and you were getting a lot of credit for getting wins early on. Andrew Luck just looks really ridiculous on the sidelines. Trying to help out and coaching. I just can't with Andrew Luck's face and his beard, and he looks like Michael J. Fox when he played in Teen Wolf. And it's just so stupid there, and I just don't want to deal with it anymore. And I just want the Colts to go away. Okay, Chuck Pagano's going to be fired. We all know that. If Chuck Pagano's not fired, something's wrong. And I'm not saying it's all Chuck Pagano's fault, but at some point, as the head coach, you got to take the blame. And I believe that point has come right now. But Andrew Luck's face on the sidelines, and he just looks so stupid. And I know that when he comes back, he's going to be doing the same thing, throwing picks. And I know that he's injured and all the stuff that people are saying, but I don't know, man. He's always been turnover prone, but he's always been able to do enough to get the team to win. But it seems now that he's just throwing picks whenever he plays, and I don't know how you come back from that. But we have yet to see. Falcons at the Jaguars. Falcons 23, Jaguars 17. This was a dogfight, and I expected the Jaguars to win this game. The Jaguars should have won this game, but Julio Jones is a baller. Matty Dry Ice is a bum. Look, man, I don't know if they're gonna come. I think they're gonna give him one more year to see what he can do. I don't like him as a quarterback for the Falcons, man. I don't think he has the arm strength to throw to Julio Jones. I think he brings the team back a little bit, because if you don't have decent arm strength to get the ball out to explosive receivers, you know what I'm saying, bro? It's not much you can really do. And Matty Dry Ice, he makes very, very bad decisions, and he just doesn't. I don't know, man. I don't know. But the Jaguars should have won this game. And I like the Jaguars personnel. They got a very, very young core team. I like the upside for this team. They got a lot of ballers on this team, man. A lot of people sleep on this team. They're not as bad as the old school Jaguars that we're used to seeing that just go out there and lay down, put their butt up, and that was it. They're not that same Jaguar team. I'm telling you guys, man. They're gonna surprise some people next year. They get some decent get a decent draft pick. Move some guys around and start doing some little shuffling or whatever like that. I'm telling you right now, man. The Jaguars can make some noise. I don't like the Falcons because of Matty Dry Ice, bro. Matt Ryan is a bum. Listen, guys. I got love for Atlanta. I love me some Georgia. Matt Ryan gotta go. He got to go. And people got to understand that. Listen, I just want the fans to be happy. I want every fan. You're not going to win every game, but you want to go out there and you want to see your team compete. They don't stand a chance with Matty Dry Ice. They don't. They don't stand a chance. Julio Jones was out there balling, over 100 yards. He finally woke up and said, I'm going to do something. But it's very, very hard when you have a quarterback like Matty Dry Ice. It's very, very hard. Trust me when I tell you, bro. The guy... He's just not that guy. He's not, and people are, I spoke to a couple of Atlanta fans, recently, and they're like, yeah, bro, you're being too hard on Matty Dry Ice. I'm like, bro, you just called him Matty Dry Ice. They're like, yeah, because you did. All right, so bro, you got the point. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I made fun of Tom Brady, a Patriot fan is not going to also make fun of Tom Brady because they know that Tom Brady is great. When I make up a name for a player and you use that same name for the player, that player probably sucks. Because I can't validate my claim for saying anything bad about Tom Brady. There's nothing I can say about him. The guy's probably one of the best to ever play the damn position. So if I make up a dumbass name for him, you would be a fool as a fan to say the name that I made up for him. So if I'm saying Matty Dry Ice and it's taken off and you're calling him Matty Dry Ice, you prove my point. He just shouldn't be there. That's the bottom line. I'm disgusted with the Falcons, man. I'm disgusted. Bears at Vikings. Vikings 38, Bears 17. This is, the Bears are just, Jay Cutler, bro. You had your ups and downs, bro. Mostly downs, and pretty much the game's over for you guys over there in Chicago. It was a rout. We're never gonna talk about you guys right now because you guys are not relevant at this point. The Vikings, however, are very relevant because they can still actually do something if they can, lock up their division. They still got a chance to lock it up. The Green Bay Packers haven't completely closed out the NFC North yet, but Teddy Bridgewater, man, wow. When he's on, and I like that he can throw the ball deep. I like that he can throw it with accuracy. I like that, Adrian Peterson had, 63, 68 yards? Something like that. And Teddy Bridgewater is still able to do what he got to do. This kid is a good quarterback. And a lot of guys, especially these draft aficionados, had a lot of comments and things that they had to say about him, and he wasn't ready and stuff like that. He looks pretty good to me. And that's the problem. Guys, you have to work a lot harder to get credit when people bring you in as a guy that wasn't supposed to do things. And Teddy Bridgewater is consistently trying to get better. Some weeks he comes out there, he's not, they want to keep the ball out of his hands. They want to do ground and pound and play defense. It wasn't that type of game against the Bears. He went out there, he aired it out and laid the Bears down. The Bears just buried themselves. And that's pretty much it. And I like what I'm seeing from Teddy Bridgewater. And I think that he can be a good quarterback in this league. And I just want him to keep getting better. I wouldn't mind to see him get in the gym a little bit more, put some weight on him. Put a little bit more weight on yourself and, focus on some more deep throws, more precision. Give this guy a little bit more read option, stuff like that, because he has the wheels for it. I think, read option with Adrian Peterson and Teddy Bridgewater on a consistent basis, sort of running that, that Seahawks offense, old school when they were really good. Yo, man, I like Teddy Bridgewater, man. I like what he's doing, man. He looks like he's about winning. He looks like he's a decent leader for being a young guy, and I like the upside of the Vikings, and I think that they have potential to do something in NFC as opposed to other teams that I don't think so. I think the Vikings can make some noise, man. I really do. Packers at Raiders. Packers 30, Raiders 20. The Packers weren't supposed to win this game. The Raiders fell apart, which is typical of the Raiders. Charles Woodson is the GOAT. We all know that. The dude is responsible for so many turnovers on defense. It's unbelievable that this guy is the age that he is right now. Even in his old times right now, bro. Because playing defense at his age is very difficult. He's still making plays, and that's commendable, man. For the amount of years you've been in this league, that's really commendable. The Packers, James Jones woke up and was able to do some stuff. Obviously, he had an offensive pass interference early in the game. He was able to come back and score later. Overall, the Packers were really, really fascinating, but they did enough to win the game. And at the end of the day, it is the Raiders, but the Raiders are not the same Raiders because that boy Amari Cooper can ball. Crabtree, whenever he's on, he can ball. Derek Carr's not a bad quarterback when he throws the ball accurately, and he's on his game when he's running and passing and doing stuff like that. But I just don't know about the Raiders. Maybe when Aldon Smith comes back, if Aldon Smith is able to not drink for a little bit and stop driving around in elementary school areas early in the morning under the influence, I think the Raiders can be great, and I mean great, with him and Khalil Mack on the D-line. I think that team, it's like instantaneous pressure because you can't double team both of them. And if you do, just in the offseason, bring in another guy that can get up the middle. I don't know about Justin Tuck. I don't know what's going on anymore. We have to see what happens with that. But the Raiders have a lot of upside, and I like that. Obviously, they let go of a game they should have won. But you got to give credit to the Packers, stepping up. And I told you guys, you don't want to give Packers a head of steam because that'll cause some real issues. You start giving a team like the Packers a head of steam leading up to the playoffs, you might awaken a damn demon, and they might end up just taking the NFC. Anything can happen, especially in the NFC. The AFC is a little bit more. I know what we're doing there. The NFC, because even though I love the Panthers, it's just something about the Packers. If Aaron Rodgers just happens to be on, he's a very dangerous guy, and I just don't know. I do love the Panthers taking the NFC, but the Packers is the only other team that scares me. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Vikings, I think the Vikings can be beaten. I think the Vikings can be beaten by the Panthers or the Packers more so than I think the Packers can just be eliminated just because of experience. Experience plays a big part when it comes down to things like this. And I just think that the Packers have the experience to go and take it. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm coming from with that. But they did enough to win the game, which you're supposed to do. Every game's not gonna be pretty, like I said prior, but kudos, man. They pulled it out. But I do think the Raiders have a lot of upside, and I think that they're going to be a really, really good team in the years to come. And I think Al Davis, will be able to rest in peace finally once the Raiders start stepping it up. Browns at Seahawks. Browns 13, Seahawks 30. Russell Wilson, man, I was going hard on him, bro. When they were like 4-5, they were losing all games, and I was just saying that Ciara was the problem and all that stuff like that. This man has been consistently throwing the ball from the pocket at his height at 5'11". And throwing dots. And he's a guy that people said he's not big enough for the pocket. He's not big enough to be in it. He has to run. He has to jump up to make passes. Jimmy Graham getting hurt was the best thing that happened to the Seahawks. And I wish that man a full recovery. And I hope that they trade him away and do what's right and don't try to do something again. That's not going to work because I wish injury upon nobody. But Jimmy Graham was the issue on this team. And it's very, very simple to see. Because look at the results. That's all I'm going to really say about the Seahawks. This team more than the Packers are extremely dangerous. But the reasoning behind their success is primarily because Jimmy Graham got hurt. And if anybody can give me another reason, I'm all ears. Because now they can go and target his other guys, the Baldwins, and all these other bums that he have, not bums because they're making plays, but they're not spectacular receivers. Lockett he's not a spectacular receiver, but he can burn you deep. And now everybody's making plays because they don't have to focus on that one guy that, let me get the ball. He can't block. He can't, you know what I'm saying? It's just better. They're a much better team. That being said, the Browns, if Johnny Manziel was able to play a lot earlier and more consistently, I think at this point, he would have had a lot more reps. He would have been a lot better with his decision making, and the Browns would have been a lot better overall team, even with the lack of personnel. I think Mike Pettin is a human eggplant, and he should be fired as soon as this podcast is released. Because Johnny Manziel, when you're a young quarterback, you need that time in there. You need the reps. You can't just be coming out in games and playing only tough defenses. It's like Mike Pettin sets it up to where he's only playing tough defenses. You got to give him a chance to come out and play against weaker defenses. And a lot of that stuff that happened whatever you were benching him for, you got to find other ways to deal with it. And that's part of being a head coach. And that's why if Mike Pettin comes back as the head coach, I feel bad for the Browns, man. I feel bad for the Browns because it's just so bad there. Just let Johnny Manziel go then. If that's what's going to be going on, just let him go. Because it doesn't make any sense what's going on there right now. And, just looking at him play, he has a lot of upside. This kid can be a great player in this league. But again, Mike Pettin is a joke. And a very bad joke at that. And I just think that I don't think it was handled right. I know the guy was involved with a lot of craziness. Johnny Manziel, obviously, with his girlfriend, all that crap, whatever. But on the football field, I think that he deserved a lot more starts. And he didn't get it for whatever personal reasons that Mike Pettin has, which is ultimately going to lead to his demise, which I believe will be coming very, very soon. Bengals at 49ers. Bengals 24, 49ers 14. AJ McCarron did enough for them to win the game. AJ Green didn't do a lot. You know what I'm saying, bro? Whatever. But they did enough to win the game, and the Bengals can still go in there and try to make some noise in the playoffs. The Bengals also have a very, very scary team. The only problem is they have a scary coach, too, in a bad way. They're a scary team in a good way, but they have a scary coach in a bad way. And that's the problem there. The 49ers, we don't need to talk about them, okay? They play good. They've been playing better defense. I'm going to give them that. They've been playing better defense, but that team is they're done. It's over there. Tom Sula, it's like you find a janitor, you're like, yeah, you know what? Let's be the principal. That's what happened with that coaching change right here. It was a whole joke. Guys retiring, all that stuff contributed, but Tom Sula's not the guy. And that's going to probably take them another 2 years to figure out, while the 49ers just continue to fucking just turn into pure dribble. Like, it's going to be a joke there. So this game wasn't really anything spectacular. The Bengals did what they were supposed to do. Still was low scoring. It was competitive. Not an exciting game. Doesn't matter. The only people that are excited are the Bengals because they're able to get a win with McCarron, who I like. I like McCarron, the way he moves around, the way he steps up in the pocket. I don't know. Maybe they won't miss Andy Dalton. Just a thought. Dolphins at Chargers. Dolphins 14, Chargers 30. Let me just say this. When the Chargers play well, you just don't, I don't know if he kept some testosterone for the team. Phillip Rivers, his wife is always pregnant, so I think he plays, dizzy sometimes. Like, he just has no semen in his ball sack because the guy's always having a kid. But Danny Woodhead with 4 touchdowns, though, like this. The Dolphins, man, Dan Campbell might have to get fired. He might, I know he was just an interim coach, but he won't have the job. I thought starting off that he would be the guy just, by his physique. I thought he would be a good leader of men, a decent coach for the team. No. You can't lose like this. You can't give a 4 touchdowns to Danny Woodhead, bro. Dan Campbell will not be the head coach of the Dolphins. Joe Philbin, it would probably been worse if Joe Philbin was still the coach, but nah, Dan Campbell, you got to go, bro. You got to go. I got to be honest about it. You're not what the Dolphins need right now. Lamar Miller was a total bum. Tannehill was a bum. Everybody was a bum. It was a joke. And it was just a mockery. The Chargers, on the other hand, like I said, 4 touchdowns for Danny Woodhead. That says it all. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, what the hell was going on there that's the kind... You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, how do you give up 4 touchdowns to Danny Woodhead? Yo, bro, I don't think a Pop Warner team would have gave up 4 touchdowns to Danny Woodhead. Like, the Dolphins are disgusting, man, and it's a joke. Obviously, none of these teams mean anything to anything that's going on, so there's nothing to really talk about, but it was embarrassing. And I watched a lot of it because I was like, yo, it was a lot of people that were doing fantasy that had Danny Woodhead, and it was just on a whim. And the dude went off. And it was crazy to see it. I couldn't believe my eyes, bro. I thought the Dolphins would go out here, play with some pride. Nope. And I think that, Phillip Rivers probably pulled back the night before, didn't have sex, and left a little bit of semen in his balls and was able to throw the ball down the field, and it worked out. It led up to a lot of drives with Danny Woodhead, and it was a rout. It was definitely a rout. But we have to wait to see what happens next year with the Chargers, because I'm thinking that Chargers fans is like, why the hell are you guys winning now? Why don't you guys just keep losing so we get a better draft pick? But, it is what it is. They got the win. Broncos at Steelers. Broncos 27, Steelers 34. Antonio Brown is a full-grown man. Okay? And if you don't find a way to defend him, the Steelers is another one of those teams that will walk all over you. Because this man was targeted 16 times and got 14 catches, bro. 2 touchdowns. What the hell is the defense doing? The Broncos are supposed to have the best secondary in the league or some crap like that. People were saying, bro, this man, and they got Wheaton, they got this other guy. Who's the other guy there? They got so many people there. I don't even know what's going on most of the time. I have no idea what's going on. All I know is that Ben Roethlisberger got all kind of people to throw the ball to, and everybody's getting open. And when it's needed, even when he's scrambling around for 30 minutes, Antonio Brown is open somehow. Like, what the hell are you guys doing? Why is the number one guy open? I don't understand this. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, bro, the guy is getting targeted 16 times and brings down 14 balls. And the Broncos are supposed to be, you know, Qualib Talib or whatever the hell his name is. And then Chris Harris Jr. giving up touchdowns, his first since like whenever. It's been a very, very long time. But goddamn, guys, I thought they had this game. Osweiler played well. They were leading this game outright. You know what I'm saying, bro? But then, you know, guys decided to start throwing picks and doing dumb shit. I don't know. You know, and this is the reasoning behind why they're saying Peyton Manning, Peyton Manning. If Osweiler was able to pull this win out, he played extremely well. At one point, he had a perfect QB rating. At one point, playing extremely well. But then you falter at the end. And that's the issue. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And that's what that young boy's going to have to realize. And this is a very tough lesson for him. Very, very tough loss as well. This is not a good I'm gonna come back type loss. This is, bro, you kind of gone. Peyton Manning get better. You gonna have to go sit the bench, bro. That's what this loss means. And you know, for the Steelers are, bro, they frighten me. It's just too many goddamn wide receivers on the goddamn field. Everybody can beat single coverage. Everybody's always open. Everybody's out in the field pitching a goddamn tent, waiting for the ball to be thrown to them. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. The Steelers may F around and come out the AFC and go to the Super Bowl. You guys keep acting stupid, they're going to show you something. Big Ben Roethlisberger has been there before. They got the experience. Keep effing around. Go ahead. Keep effing around and see what happens. Unbelievable game, though. I really enjoyed this game. This was probably second to my Panthers and the Giants. High scoring. I love it. Dude, Antonio Brown, man, full grown man, Antonio Brown. Congratulations, man. Kudos to that man. I think they have the potential to go to the Super Bowl. I really do, bro. If there's one team that can beat that Patriots team, it's the Steelers. Cardinals at the Eagles. Cardinals 40, Eagles 17. Chip Jelly Kelly, bro. Bruh, Chip Jelly Kelly. First of all, why was DeMarco Murray not playing at all? Even on 4th down and inches, bro. And even when Ryan Matthews fumbles, he's still on the bench. This is something I gotta tell you guys. I understand that the Dallas Cowboys didn't want to pay DeMarco Murray as much money. But DeMarco Murray was going to be still getting paid a lot of money. He would have been still, you know, on the Dallas Cowboys. I know all the things people are going to say, yeah, bro, you got to make your money while you can, whatever like that. I don't think he should have left. I don't think he should have left the Dallas Cowboys. And I said that when he left. Why would you leave a team where you're a star, you have an offensive line like that, and you're able to get the type of yardage that you're getting? Why would you leave, even if there's more money on the table? And it's, you know, I understand. Look, he got a king's ransom to go to the Eagles. But now look at his face and how stupid he looks while he's on the sideline when Chip Jelly Kelly is just standing there like, yo, I'm not playing you. And you're putting in Ryan Matthews, a guy that's fumbling the ball. Notice, good coaches, a guy fumbles the ball, unless you're a star like Adrian Peterson, you don't come back in the game. Ryan Matthews not a star no more. I don't think he was a star with the Chargers. Like, I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't know what he did to Chip Jelly Kelly. I don't know what happened. But DeMarco Murray's a joke. DeMarco Murray, you know, this is where it shows, like when it says money can't buy you happiness and, you know, money can't buy whatever. This is, look, you're already a multimillionaire. You're getting a very, very decent contract. With Dallas, you're going to get endorsements that's going to make up the money. I'm pretty sure you would have made up the money. And you would have been valuable. And the Cowboys wouldn't have been so disgusting right now. But now you go to Chip Jelly Kelly, right? You go to Chip Jelly Kelly, and you're riding the bench until the third quarter, bro, in such a big game against the Cardinals, where that boy, what was it, David Johnson is just, bro, I thought he was tackled. Like, bro, listen, man, the Cardinals they're a decent team. I hope Carson Palmer's finger's okay, because he's always getting hurt and screwing them over. But that team is a well-fueled, bro, the Cardinals are a well-fueled engine right now. Cardinals ain't playing no games. People better be very, very, bro, you better watch what the Cardinals are doing right now. Cardinals ain't effing around. The Eagles, let's get back to the Eagles though. DeMarco Murray, was it worth it? Was it worth it? A lot of people say, yeah, bro, look, you're making millions of dollars regardless. There's ways to market yourself to make the money up. You're in a perfect situation. You're playing with what's still considered America's team, even though they haven't done anything for years, over a decade. And you leave to go to the Philadelphia Eagles? And now you're sitting on your face looks so stupid. His face looks so stupid as he just sits there on the sideline. Ryan Matthews is coming out there throwing the ball to the goddamn ground. And just coming back out there and playing like nothing happened. They're not utilizing Sproles the same way. The Eagles are a joke. Listen, Chip Jelly Kelly, bro, good job. Hey, Jeff Lurie, good job of giving him all control over all the personnel. I'm done with the Eagles. Cardinals, bro, they're moving the ball. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Malcolm Floyd had a bro. Listen, that's a different Malcolm Floyd though, right? Is that a Floyd? I know it's a Floyd. Is it Malcolm Floyd that had that catch on the right side? I know his name is something like that. I think it is because I always confuse him with the Chargers guy. But I'm talking about the Cardinals wide receiver, that Floyd. Listen, bro, that catch was unbelievable. He's a baller in this league. Then you got Fitzgerald. Then you got a full, complete man at running back with David Johnson. Let me just say this right now. The Cardinals, if you got to play the Cardinals, I'll be very, very careful, bro. Playoff time comes, be very, very careful. Because this team, they were beating the hell out. Listen, I don't know. I was sitting here like, is anybody going to call a cop to come and arrest the Cardinals for abuse? They were beating the hell out of Chip Jelly Kelly and the Eagles, bro. Look, man, let's just say what it is. It's going to be a very, very exciting playoff. More so than I've seen in a while. That's all I'm going to say about this. That run that David Johnson got when everybody thought he was down, he's stiff-arming people, punching them in the face, Hadoukening them from Street Fighter, roundhouse kicking them, and getting to the end zone, that's a huge play. That defines what the Cardinals did to the Eagles. And again, DeMarco Murray, bro. You see what happens, bro? Because I understand you got to get your money while, whatever, but you're on the Dallas Cowboys, bro. You have a great situation. You have a great O-line. Sometimes you got to be like, bro, some guys just take less money. It's not like it's unheard of. Because if winning, you got to feed your family. You got to do what you got to do. I understand that. But it's not like you're not getting an abundance of cash. And you have the opportunity to also win. And you're familiar with the structure. Now you're just sitting there looking like a dumbass on the sideline, like a toddler that took a shit in their diaper and looking for somebody to change them. You're ridiculous, bro. You're an embarrassment to yourself, an embarrassment to every dog that will be killed and served at Chinese food restaurants, and you're just a goddamn joke. But all in all, the Cardinals handled their business. They beat the hell out of them, and it is what it is. Tonight we had the Lions and the Saints. Don't expect too much from this game. I don't know what's going to go on. Look, bro, this is not an exciting game to me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm only watching it, because I got to do a recap on it. Even though Drew Brees should have a good game against the Lions defense, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see. They're at home. The Saints are at home at the Mercedes-Benz Dome. Let's see what goes on. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the recap. There's so many more recaps available on YouTube and iTunes and Android. Definitely search GmiasWorld Podcast. Download it today. Enjoy it for free. And until next time, one love.